Ripple CTO says, guess what, everyone? I'm getting paid in Ripple private stock versus XRP. But was it a good choice? And I promise you, it is not a knock against XRP. Dogecoin moving big. That's right. More rumors circulating about Musk using Doge for X payments. We've also got some nasty economic news out there that may put a damper on the big picture. But at the end, we're going to top it off with what? Price action. Bitcoin seems to be out of the bottom along with XRP. Let's get to the news. Not your mom, I'm not your dad. I bring the news whether it's good or bad. Starting it off with you, yes, because the viewer is most important. Desired358 says it'll pump a bit like 2%, that SDF will dump another 400 million lumens, worth 48 million, and the chart is back to -5 again. This is all about Sorban being launched in 9 days. Will we see a pump? User Cam2 says nothing will happen. Oh, interesting about that. Let's see. Crypto Tran says, hey, the XLM price will go up if Ripple settles in 10 days. That's kind of funny. All right, let's talk about the heat map. Bitcoin's in at 41,987. Appears to be that we're out of the bottom. ETH 2487. Doge pumping big. We're going to talk about the Doge pump here and why. XRP sitting at 55.4 with XLM at 11.6. People are using cash transfers like basic income to pay rent, and it shows just how bad housing is. Now, housing is bad across the globe. And if housing is expensive and it's your most expensive bill and people are spending more and more on housing, that means they have less disposable income to like go out, take their wives, husbands, spouses, whatever to dinner. They got less money to buy crypto. They got less money to buy big juicy nugs like West Coast Dank Nuggies, right? So what we have to start thinking of is right now retail is still fueling crypto. The ETFs didn't do what we need. So if we still see some retail-based issues like housing stuff, well, we might be in some trouble. Low-income Americans are struggling more than ever to afford housing. Homelessness has reached record highs. The U.S. is short an estimated 4 million homes. It is not just the U.S. The European housing market is short as well. But unlike other government benefits like Medicaid and food stamps, housing aid doesn't automatically go to those who need it. Just a fraction of those who qualify actually receive it. More than half of the recipients of the pandemic cash aid program in Washington, D.C. called Thrive, east of the river, spent all or almost all or a lot of it on housing. So now this stuff was supposed to go to help with food, utilities, just getting through, and people have to use it for the housing bill. So if housing keeps staying high, right, retail has less money to spend on crypto. All right, Doge jumps as X payments handle goes live. What's next? All right. Let's just digest this, okay? So Musk for a while has been touting, you know what, we want to do payments on X, Twitter at the time when he said it. And, you know, there was always speculation. Well, he's big on Doge. He's big on Doge because Tesla likes Doge. He's big on Doge because he always tweets about Doge. Well, now that Musk is like, yo, girlfriend, doing this, Doge pumps big time. Check it out. Look at the candlestick action, all right? That is a fairly solid move there, especially for something that's been, you know, playing the ETF down doldrums for a while, all right? So look at this. Healthy pump right here. But the whole thing is this. Although Musk has not confirmed if he will go ahead with the plans, the Dogecoin community believes it's a no-brainer and Musk would add to the functionality. This was also because Tesla, his other company, accepts Doge as payment. And Musk also said that he still owns Dogecoin. So the problem we have here is that if the crypto community is, I don't know, maybe thinking there's too much, right? Maybe over-promising and under-delivering for Doge. Like, is that what this community here is doing right now? Are they saying, hey, look, we're trying to be optimistic for anything possible, even if we know that there's nothing confirmed, boom, boom, boom. That's not healthy because that's unrealistic expectations. But let's keep an eye on this story and let's see if Elon actually uses Doge as payments or if this is another pump and dump. All right. I'm telling you right now, this is actually a good sign for XRP, all right? And this story is going to be used, I think, by some people to, like, maybe piss you off or to, like, fudge you. But the reality is, the real details in this story actually tell you a pretty interesting picture. And I'll make sure I explain this to everyone because there's going to a bunch of you out there that are going to be like, dude, wait a minute, I don't get it. Why would he get paid in stock versus XRP? And why is stock different than XRP? I'm going to answer all that, and then we're going to talk about price action. Ripple CTO David Schwartz says he chose Ripple shares over XRP. Amid the conversation on X, a user asked Schwartz if he preferred owning Ripple shares rather than XRP. The anonymous X user queried, is it true that you decided to receive Ripple shares than the digital asset XRP? Well, let's see what David said. As always, any article you see in this video, along with all my other ones, will be linked in the description below. Here's from Zero Doubt. Is it true you decided to read Ripple shares than the digital asset XRP? David Joel Cat Schwartz says, yes. The jury is out on whether it was a good decision. XRP certainly would have been more liquid. Okay, so David was like, yo, I want to get paid, but I want to get paid in Ripple stock. Ripple stock is private, okay? It is not, I repeat, it is not like the stock market. It is totally freaking different. In fact, right, let's say you have private stock in a company. There's not always a buyer for that. So that's a lack of liquidity. Now, if you go with like publicly traded companies on the stock market, yeah, there's usually a buyer out there, right? Because there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of shares transferring every day. So there's a chance to get liquidity. So what Schwartz is saying is, hey, look, when given the chance, I chose Ripple private shares, okay? Was he knocking XRP? No, I don't think so. He had to choose which way to go. Now, that being said, here's the problem. XRP, you and I right now, right? Let's pretend you and I are David Schwartz. Imagination world. You got it? Cool. Let's pretend we're David Schwartz. Ripple's like, yo, how do you want to get paid? Private shares or XRP? Well, if you choose private shares, there's not always a private investor out there to buy your shares because it's only for accredited investors. So even though those shares might be going up in value because of supply and demand on the private side, dude, if there's no one that wants to buy your stuff, your money's worthless, right? It's not liquid. Now, XRP on the other hand, David Schwartz was like, yo, I want to use XRP for payment. David Schwartz, just like you and I could go up on our old telephone, and we could send some, boom, money like that. You could sell XRP instantly. These companies that are private, you can't. And that's where the liquidity problem comes into play. Very interesting to see Schwartz say that, you know what? The big thing is, though, is XRP would have been more liquid, which means, is there as much interest as we think on the private side of Ripple shares? Or is there actually more interest in native asset? For those of you out there that are like, bro, you always bring negative news. Guess what I got for you this Sunday? Here's a dose to shut the fuck up. Because this was super positive. In fact, this is coming from the CTO that says, you know what? Private shares aren't as juicy as people think because there's not the liquidity there. So even if David Schwartz has got hundreds of millions of private share stock, he can't offload it. But we saw that Jed McCaleb with Taco Stand was able to unload XRP because there was no liquidity issues. Very interesting to see this here. All right, now let's talk price action. BTC, right, ETF news was a big nothing burger. Don't give me this bullshit about adoption and this and that. What did the ETFs do for silver and gold? Jack shit. So be very careful out there if you're asking for an XRP ETF because every other ETF out there has done jack shit hola. Look at the price of silver. You're telling me that that's not one of the most held down things out there? ETFs, paper money, futures. Gotcha. Okay, so BTC, ETF news, nothing burger. Pretty much, all right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. You had to make money on it somewhere over here. Okay, cool. Now, we hit some bottoms. Okay, BTC got way down there. 40,297. Watching a few days ago, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, if this gets to like 39,000, we might break that bad boy down under 33. Now, we're still not out of the woods yet, but the nice thing here is over the last 3 days, we have seen the move on up from 40,297 to 41,788. If you look at the move for XRP, you actually see something very similar, right? If you were going to make some money, you were going to make some money on the rumor of the ETF being approved, not the actual news, because when the ETF launched, guess what? Big nothing burger. XRP, though, same story. 52.3 was the low, and we have now pumped back up, and no, not pump, like lowercase p, to 55.3. So did we get out of this over-promising and under-delivering cycle of the ETFs? Because look at this, right? Dogecoin community, although Musk has not confirmed, the community believes this is a no-brainer. Well, the community also thought that the ETFs would pump Bitcoin to the moon. The community also thought that oomph and juicy action would transfer over to XRP, but it didn't. So now that we've gotten through the fact that the BTC ETFs were a big nothing burger, we're like, all right, cool. What's next for the news, right? We've digested it, and that's what you're seeing right here. We digested this lack of movement, and again, why is the expectation so big? Because if I tell you right now, bro, you're going to make $30 million in 10 days, I set the expectation way high. Now, what if I told you, bro, you're going to make $10 in the next 3 days? I set the expectation low. All of these expectations regarding BTC ETF going to the moon, XRP ETF, all that, they're not realistic. So when the actual price action happens and it sucks big balls like you see here, the market sells off. Why? Because they're like, well, wait a minute. We were just told we were going to get juicy news, and they didn't. So now that the market has sold off that junk, now we're like, all right, what's next? And you're seeing the same thing with BTC. You're saying the same thing with XRP. And right now we're looking at Doge going, all right, are you guys going to all fall into that same trap of overpromising and underdelivering? Where the community, right, the Dogecoin community believes that it's a no-brainer. Is it the same thing where the community is expecting more than what's really happening? See, it really is about expectations. And if the expectations are always moon, 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 well then how are we going to get that moon when these stories really aren't that big? The ETFs, let's be real here. Oh, check it out, check it out. Look who's hanging out with me. Hey, Luke. Luke. Hey, buddy. See, I got Luke hanging out with me. But seriously, these ETFs, what do they do for gold and silver? What did they do for oil? What did they do for all the other, the commodities and securities that they represent out there? Nothing really. It just gave people another investment tool. Now, the issue that we have with this ETF news is how many creators out there were pumping this story up that set those expectations super high. BTC, ETF, yo, we're going to moon. I mean, seriously, how many videos out there were you in today? I bet you over the last several weeks, you couldn't go a video without saying BTC, ETF. Like, seriously, you couldn't. And when that expectation is put so high and nothing happens, people are let down. Now, that letdown of emotion is something that gets repeated time and time again. And I think that's what's really hurting a lot of these crypto communities, is there's too many influencers out there talking moon, 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 when a lot of this news is good news. Don't get me wrong, it is good news, but it's not moon news. So again, that expectation is always being painted way, way too high, and you're not going to meet those realities. Come on now. What are you going to do? Tell your wife every day you're going to give her an hour of straight pleasure, and then you show up and you deliver 5 minutes? Your wife is going to be like, don't even say an hour anymore. And that's the danger. But instead, if you told your wife, hey, I'm going to rock your world for 3 minutes straight, and you last 6, oh, your wife is like, Why? Because these were the expectations, and you exceeded them. Even though 6 minutes ain't nice, 6 minutes ain't usually the time you need to pay the bill, it exceeded the expectation. So the next time you're there, trying to get a little frisky and freaky with your partner, don't tell her or him that you're going to rock their world for an hour. Undersell yourself. Be like, I'm going to give you the best 3 minutes ever, and you do your best to last 10 minutes so that you underpromise and overdeliver, where crypto and the communities behind it overpromise and underdeliver. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I bring the news, whether it's good or bad. I'll catch you cool cats later today as it's football Sunday playoff time. Right, Luke? Oh, look at Lucas. Come on, Luke. You want to come here? Come here. Do the outro with me. Come here, bud. Come here. Come on up. You can come on up. It's okay. Come here, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, look at my puppy. Look at my good boy. We aren't exactly sure what he is yet, but we think he is a German Shepherd Great Dane mix, right, buddy? Yeah, and he's super affectionate. He's, a little protective of dad, which is okay, but he's a super cuddler, and he's a super hugger, and he's a super lover. And we got him at the Humane Society because it's super important to take care of doggies, because there's a lot of doggies out there that need to be taken care of. So, as you're doing your Sunday, as you're doing your plans for 2024, remember, there's a whole bunch of cute little furry puppies out there that need your love too and need a good home. So if you have the time, you have the space, and you have the heart, there's plenty of cute ones like this out there. I know, because we got 2 at the same time because we didn't want to separate these 2 brothers. Take care. I'll see y'all later.